This provisional edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by LRN.FM. You can vote for them. I wanted to update everybody with some more details from my May 25th arrest outside the Joe Biden event in Nashua. But first I wanted to thank everybody who has helped. I haven't been able to thank you all individually yet, but you know who you are, and I hope you know how much I appreciate you. I have about 15 minutes worth of interviews and other tape I shot, maybe 10 minutes somewhere along in there, tape I shot before the arrest, and that will be trickling out as normal over the next few weeks. I'll also be building videos to tell the story in sequence that may take a few days to get underway, as I was already having some laptop issues before the arrest. Some of my gear was in the shop during the arrest, and that's slowing me down. I think I'll just for now recount what happened in front of the judge, as this was something many of you wished to witness and didn't get to. I'm told the authorities wouldn't tell you when or where the arraignment was to be held. What happened was, after holding me at Nashua PD for about an hour, they drove me up to Manchester's Valley Street Jail around 9 p.m. Then about 10 hours later, around 7 a.m., on May 26th, they hauled me right back to the Nashua PD. It was about a 30-minute drive each way, all completely unnecessary as best I could tell. Now, the appearance was supposed to be in front of Nashua District Court, but they drove me to the Nashua Police Department instead, so that I could be in front of a video camera. So it was a video arraignment. I was not allowed to wear glasses. Those were confiscated, so I could not see the judge or courtroom very well on video. I could hear what sounds like an audience laughing after one of us apparently said something funny. As I stand there in front of this camera, I'm curious to see if the judge will rush me inappropriately, but he doesn't. In terms of demeanor and timing, I'd have to give the judge passing grades. The arraignment occurs in a timely manner at about 8:45 a.m. A female attorney, more or less off camera, and I think unnamed, reduces the charges. They go from a Class A to a Class B misdemeanor, which means the judge may not include jail time. The charge is criminal trespass. The judge says, I tell the judge that arresting a journalist in the lawful performance of his duty is a serious matter, and that there are some advantages to staying in jail for this reason. It would draw additional attention to these serious concerns. The judge's name is Leary, I believe. His reaction, if I recall correctly, it didn't seem, I don't remember exactly what his reaction was, but the general sense I got was, no, Mr. Ridley, you don't have to stay in jail. you can go, that kind of thing. But anyway, let's see. There is no rancor on the judge's part, or mine. It's a professional, almost lighthearted conversation. The matter is serious, but part of a reporter's job is to entertain as many audiences as possible. Judge actually invites me to drop by his office if I have any questions regarding the restrictions on my life that will be imposed when I leave the jail. I take this to mean that I can speak with him in person. If that's accurate, it's a pretty unusual thing, and I'll probably try and take him up on that to whatever extent that's allowed. They say my bail is $2,000 personal recognizance. I tell them I'm not willing to give them $2,000. They say, no, you don't have to pay to get out, but it's just if you violate bail conditions. And I tell him I would like to see the conditions in writing. He says he'll get me a copy, but I say I'd like to see the conditions now before I can decide whether to agree to them. Well, he indicates he's not asking me to agree to them. It's more like he's giving me orders. I'm being given instructions on how to behave while out. I'm told I cannot go within 50 yards of the hotel where Joe Biden was. I tell them I don't want a public defender. The jailers tell me I don't have to sign. There's like a form they want me to sign. The jailers tell me I don't have to sign it. They write refused on the printout. They hand me a copy, and I'm out about an hour later, roughly 15 hours after the 6 p.m. arrest. I receive a printout of my life restrictions in the mail the next day, which I hope to show you later. It sets my date of trial, or hearing, I guess, at July 11th. My guess is at this point Nashua PD is wondering what questionable deeds might be revealed by a prolonged case or prolonged public scrutiny. There is an apparent desire to prevent a jury trial from occurring, and that probably explains the reduction of the charge. A couple of mistakes I made during the arraignment process. I should probably have asked the judge to let me record the arraignment. At least that would have drawn attention to the fact that my equipment was taken away from me. You know, maybe he would have said no, and yes, my gear was in a different city anyway at the time, but I should have at least asked for this. Conceivably, it could have at least resulted in a longer jail stay pending reunion with my equipment, and that would have been good for the movement. But it didn't occur to me to ask, so anyway. I also forgot to tell the judge, you know, I thought about saying, you know, Judge, I want your personal assurances that evidence will not be tampered with in this case, and if the authorities will not delete video or audio that I collected at the scene. But it looks like they didn't tamper anyway, at least not with the stuff I've looked at so far. Anyway, lots of interesting details still to be processed and broadcast. Again, we have a small preliminary protest scheduled for tomorrow, May 29th, 3 p.m. in Nashua. See the videos, the script for details. Watch my Quick channel, quick.com/RidleyReport, and stay tuned. Again, this edition of the Ridley Report brought to you by LRN.FM. LRN.FM. Feds don't want you to hear them. That's the actual. But anyway, LRN is like a Liberty, 24-hour Liberty broadcast, and it broadcasts off and on here in Keene on unlicensed, not here in Keene, but here in New Hampshire on unlicensed radio stations, and they get periodically shut down by the feds, and sometimes they get video of the shutdown process, which is kind of interesting. Anyway, LRN.FM, give them a shout.